Welcome to My Success. This show is all about what it takes to be successful. Tune in for some great conversation designed for providing you with the best information possible to help you achieve your goals and dreams. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Kim Martin here, founder of I've Decided and host of your Tuesday. This is the third Tuesday podcast, My Success. Take two. I tell you what, you gotta love technology, but we're learning, we're living, we're learning, and we're gonna give this another whirl because I am so excited to have my guest here with me today. Karen Lehman is the founder of Resonate Skincare, one of our awesome members of I've Decided. And we're going to talk to you today about self-care. That's our weekly winning word, self-care. And when I thought about this word, Karen, obviously you were the first person that popped in my mind because as of one of our members, I know that you are very passionate about self-care and you have this amazing skincare product. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, but obviously we're going to talk about all kinds of things about self-care because it's not just skincare. It's so much more than that.
So much deeper.
So much deeper than that. And it's funny because you're an accountant by day, but you have this journey to self-care. Mm-hmm. And I love hearing the success stories. It's always awesome and how you got to the place where you decided to do this. So share a little bit with everybody. Just kind of, how did you decide to create your own skincare product line? I mean, that is so cool, isn't it?
Right. So it's not like I had a dream of one day I'm going to make my own line of skincare products. It was not really that dream. It was more of a journey. I almost stumble upon it. So just throughout the journey of life,
right.
There's always ups and downs, and I went through a difficult time in our family, and I think I was already questioning at that point, like just normal things. I think they're normal that people question. Why am I here? What is my purpose? That kind of thing, and then.
Right.
As we are going through this difficult time as a family, that just got more pronounced. And so it just led me on a journey of just, I'm searching for answers. Never entered my mind, hey, I know the answer. I'll make a line of skincare products. That just wasn't it. And so time progressed, and then a few years ago, my mom passed away. My dad had passed away years earlier,
right.
A few years earlier. And I was executor, and so I was at her home cleaning out her home and her personal effects, and it was a really good time for me. It was a good time to reflect on our upbringing, my parents, and it was a good childhood and a good upbringing. And yet, I still had this sense of like I don't really belong anywhere. And
You said you had like an emptiness, like you felt empty.
Right. Even though I'm around family, friends,
had a great life.
Yes. And I think that was part of the struggle. Like, I can't really pinpoint. Like, I think I should have had some kind of tragedy or something,
right.
And I couldn't really pinpoint anything. And so I was going through like their yearbooks and that, pictures and things. And that's when it hit me that I feel alone because I'm not taking care of myself. And I'm not even loving myself. And so that really opened the door for me for my journey. And then shortly after that, I enrolled in a skincare class, which I thought I would make some organic makeup, but then it turned out to be skincare, which I'm fine with.
That's awesome.
Right.
And, can you resonate with what Karen's saying, that you're not even loving yourself? I think that we get so busy in life, and we're so busy caretaking, or we're taking care of elderly parents, or we're taking care of a bunch of children, or we're taking care of our spouses. We're working. We have a full-time job and a part-time gig, right? You're in that, right? You work a full-time job as an accountant, and then you have this side hustle that you really love. Plus, you have children. Well, I think your children, they're grown, but
grown now,
but
Yes.
You know, that hustle and bustle, and we forget to make sure we take care of ourselves, and it starts to feel like a very selfish thing
Yes. We
to
don't
take
think
care
we
of our own
can.
self. Right.
Yes.
It feels selfish. It takes time. It takes money, resources, and so we put it off. But
Right.
it's the most unselfish thing we can do.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
So as we're talking, let us know if you're watching live. Show us some love and post in the comments. You know, if you're watching live on Facebook or watching a recording, post in the comments. How do you take care of yourself? What does self-care mean to you? Now, this is the definition that we found on the article that I just love. Self-care is the collection of habits that support and strengthen your mental health and well-being. Isn't that a great definition?
It's very good.
I just love it because it is a collection of habits. It's the things that we're doing on a daily basis that take care of our mental health and our well-being. And, you know, skincare is one of those things. I mean,
Yes.
you when you take care of your skin, you feel good.
Right.
And this is for men and for women. I know yesterday on our weekly confabulation with Kurt, he was joking. He was like, I thought about oil of Olay. I'm like, Kurt. But I know what he was saying because a lot of times when we think of self-care, especially the guys out there, they think, oh, that's girl stuff.
Right, right. And I think it is often associated with makeup, skincare, spas, massages,
Yes.
all of which are a piece of it. But I think there is much more to it.
It is. There's so
as
much
well.
more. And so let's talk about, and so we're just going to kind of share a little bit about you're going to get insight to our article this week. And every week we send out a weekly winning resource to our members. And included in that weekly winning resource is a weekly winning article geared around our weekly winning word. We have a weekly winning challenge and a quote and the definition. And we just kind of take a deep dive into a positive word that has to do with motivating and encouraging us to be better, right? And so this week it's self-care. And a lot of times I write the articles, but sometimes I just find an article that's really great and there's no reason to reinvent the wheel. You just use what somebody else has already put together so nicely. And so I found this article and it just talks about what they believe to be really self-care. What is self-care? Like, what is it really? And so the number one thing that he says is self-care is about consistent habits, not quick fixes. And I think that's what I love about skincare so much because it creates that habitual, when you do it, success begets success.
Right.
So if you do it on a daily, it starts to filter into other areas of your life.
Right, right. And it's not just put this toner on or put this cream on, but have an intention behind it, that you're doing something good for yourself. You're taking a moment and doing something that is good for you. It doesn't really benefit, any other family member or friend. It benefits you at that moment.
And I love that. It benefits you. And guess what? It's okay.
It's okay.
to do something that actually benefits you and only you.
Right.
But I think that's where, although I have to kind of take that little statement back because really it doesn't just benefit you because at that moment it is, but it's making you feel better. It's filling up your little pot of oil, so to speak.
Right.
Which then makes you better for everyone else. So ultimately,
You're right.
it's benefiting a lot of people.
Yes.
Maybe especially the people who live in your house or who are super close to you. I love this one too. Self-care isn't mysterious or complicated. So, we think it has to be complicated.
Yes, yes. And I think that's where I was stuck. I think that, and I'm not knocking these things, but you hear a lot of you should eat well, you should exercise, you should get enough sleep, and those are all true, all things that we should do.
Absolutely.
But when I attribute those things alone to self-care, then at that particular time in my life, I just felt like there isn't time for those things. If I take the time to eat right, then I won't get this other thing done. And so it was a huge challenge.
It felt more like a burden
It did.
than self-care.
Right, right.
Right.
So I started to break it down more. In fact, can I share
I
another
want you
definition?
to. That would be
Okay.
awesome.
So when you asked me to talk with you on this topic, it kind of hit me like, oh my gosh, I have a skincare line that really emphasizes self-care, and yet I haven't really thought about what's the definition of self-care. So I came up with one, and so my personal definition at this time of self-care is intentional moments of personal awareness that instill balance and boundaries.
Say that again.
Intentional moments
Okay.
of personal awareness
Oh, I love it.
that instill balance and boundaries.
Wow, that's awesome. Can you post that like on the
Yes.
comments later?
I'll try.
Yeah, just go under the comments on the tag, or either text it to me and I'll post it.
Okay.
You got to write that one down because
So-
it's intentional moments.
So moments, because
I love it.
a chunk of time was just more than what I felt like I could do.
Right.
And so then I just, okay, well, I can't, I don't have time to pay attention to myself. I don't have time for self-care. But if I could think of just a moment, and that's part of, what's the word? That's part of the whole idea behind the skincare line.
The regimen,
that you have, it's just moments.
Yeah.
It doesn't take an hour to put a day cream on your face. You have a moment, and
It's literally less
that
than 10
moment.
minutes.
Right.
It
It's
can
that
feel
moment of self-care.
Yeah, it can feel like it's going to take an hour, but it honestly it only takes like 10 minutes. It's so fast.
Right.
If 10
Right.
minutes.
The balance and boundaries means that you still have your responsibilities. So at that time, I was caring for my mom, or after she passed, I was, really, really wrapped up in her estate. And so I still have had those responsibilities, but that's part of the balance, a part of the boundaries that I needed to learn to set. That I can take moments to myself for self-care, but balance out those responsibilities.
That is so good.
I
love
I didn't
that.
learn it until after the fact.
But we live and we
I
learn.
can learn it now.
And you learn it
so
now.
An example, if I can.
Of course.
So Sunday, we were with some people, and it just kind of it was a good visit. It was a very good visit, but it just left me feeling a little sad. And so we're driving back home, about a 20-30 minute drive, and I began thinking, well, I could do my usual of be sad and just kind of carry on that sadness and listen to all the reasons why I should be sad, or I could choose to be grateful. So that's what I did, and I just started looking at the sky and the trees and just listing any reason at all to be grateful.
Right.
And it helped. It helped to change that. And even those little things of just changing your mindset, just a small shift, to me, is self-care.
That is so true. Yeah. And it's not mysterious.
So it's not complicated.
Or complicated, which is exactly what you're saying. It's those moments.
Right.
I love that. I love the word moment, because sometimes that's all we have is a moment.
Right.
We're in the moment. We need to enjoy the moment. Mm-hmm. Take advantage of the moments, right? And be grateful for the moments.
Right.
Here's my favorite one too. Skincare isn't narcissistic or selfish.
Right.
Why do we tend to think that taking care of ourselves is selfish?
I'm not sure why we think that. For me, not to knock our faith, but because I grew up in church, and I loved it. I thrived on that. But as I look back on it now, there were a lot of rules.
Yes.
And I somehow I got the perception that taking care of ourselves was sinful, that you should be taking care of others. You should be love others,
wow,
love one
good
another,
point. Right.
Right. And so loving yourself wouldn't, that is selfish, almost to the point of being sinful. Or that's how I perceived
That's how you
it.
perceived it.
I believe
Right.
now, as a young child, I believe that's how I perceived it, and that took root. and into my adult life. And so that was really quite a shift in mindset that I had to personally make, that it is okay, even to have moments of self-care is good.
Absolutely. That is a powerful point, that it almost felt sinful to you for taking care of yourself because you could be serving others or doing something for others. And you guys, have you ever felt like that? I know, I can think of moments in my life where I felt like that, but I always say I'm the baby of 3 girls, so I kind of have a more spoiled nature. So I can tend to be okay with doing things for myself, but I know I have had moments where I felt guilty or like, oh, I could do something else. But ultimately, we do have to come to the understanding that we can't love well if we don't love ourselves well.
Right.
And it is not selfish. In fact, it is selfless. And sometimes this is a deep truth too. I think we use busyness and excuses to not to do the things that we need to do, because sometimes self-care feels like work. Like exercising, like eating healthy, preparing your meals for the week instead of driving through fast food or picking up pizza.
It is harder.
It's much harder.
Sometimes.
It is. I mean,
Yes,
once
it
you get
takes planning.
acclimated to it and
Yes.
it becomes a behavior, it becomes easier. But it is definitely a little harder to take a Sunday afternoon and prep your food and make some meals and go to the grocery store. It's easier to go, well, I'll just swing through and get pizza or order out, right?
Right.
And so I think sometimes we just use that as an excuse not to do it. But I like your point of view too, that sometimes we really truly do feel like it's a bad thing to take care of ourselves because we need to be serving others.
Right.
And so we want to get away from that mindset for sure. And here, self-care is for everyone. So you guys, you're watching this. This is not just about girls. Self-care isn't just about the ladies.
Right.
Men need self-care too. Very, very, very important. Self-care is something for everyone. And it should do it in any way that makes sense in your life.
Right. And I think if you think of self-care more along the lines of a mindset, that then it's easier to view it as a need that everyone has. It's not gender related.
It is not
It's
gender
just-
related.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. So there's 5 practical principles that the author of this article, Nick Wignall, if I'm pronouncing his last name properly, but he shares that I thought we could go through and get some feedback from you on. But, obviously the number one thing is to take care of your physical health. If you're not healthy, now you've got a really good excuse of not being able to take care of all the things that you need to take care of.
Right.
And so being unhealthy gives you an excuse to not take care of things. So we have to take care of our health. So how can taking care of your health, how can making time for exercise and those moments, whether it's getting on the treadmill for 10 minutes,
Right.
going for a walk around your block, how can we make sure that we recognize that that is the most important thing that we can do, is to take care of our one body that we get?
It's tough. It is really tough. So here's my story on exercise. Never did it. Never. I mean, seriously, like it wasn't like a program when I was growing up. It wasn't something that we did.
Right.
Went out and played a lot, rode
Sure.
our bikes and all. But to say I'm going to go exercise is just not something that we did. And so I have this aversion even to the word. It's so weird. And but I'm coming around to it.
I love this conversation.
I need it. So, but I think part of my aversion is because I'm just not very good at it. Like,
Well, you probably maybe just haven't found
'cause I'm
something
not
that
doing
you
it,
absolutely
so-
love.
right? So
You need to start adventuring.
Right. So I do love yoga,
Awesome.
and just recently, like this week, I'm trying out a couple of apps on my phone.
Yes.
And I'm so proud to say I've gotten up 2 days now in a row.
In a row. I love it. And yoga is one of those things you
Like
can
10
do
minutes,
online.
but,
Yes. Yes, and
Yeah.
you can do it online. You can do it from home.
Right.
They have
And
all
you can
these
even do
online classes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have a community if that's what you choose to
Absolutely,
do.
because
So-
even Curves, we have My Curves on Demand, and
Right.
you can do that from home even. And so, yoga, and I have some, Mary Ardapple, our yogi, that's a part of I've Decided. She does classes online, like, group classes. You can log in and do it live, which is fun too. Or you can
Right.
just watch a video,
Right.
So that's an easy one to start with, I think. Not that yoga's easy. Don't get me wrong on
No.
that, because I've tried yoga and it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not.
Balance is not easy.
It's not, and stretching.
Yes.
I'm the worst at stretching. I'm good at exercising, but I'm terrible at stretching, which makes me not so good at yoga. And it's probably something that I should do a lot more of. But anyway, so take care of your physical health. I love that. Thank you for your honesty. I'm sure that you guys watching are feeling that. Take care of your social health. Now, this could go in a couple ways in my mind. When you think of social health, what do you think of social health? What does that mean to you?
Being with family, friends.
Yeah. Like, I think it's like taking time to be social, to spend time with the people that you love. But what about also boundaries?
Essential.
Yeah.
Very essential.
So
Right. It's okay to say no. It's good to say no sometimes.
very good to say no. No is not. In fact, we got a week. That's going to be one of our weekly winning words at some point coming up. No. It is. It's just, so many of us need to remember it's okay to say no and to set those boundaries. And so taking care of your social health is about spending time with friends and family and people that you love. But it's also, I think, on the other hand, balance and boundaries and, not spending too much time with people who zap you.
Right.
Or pouring out more than you're, giving in. There's people that take your energy and there's people that fill you up. And there's a balance because sometimes the people that take our energy don't mean to, and it's people that we love. And we don't want to not be around them, but we just have to balance that out with someone who fills us up.
Right.
I think.
Or you could even limit, you've got an hour. And
Yeah.
then-
Or
and
know
that's it.
yourself if you're, it's like, this is not a good day to spend time with whoever that might be. I need to wait till I fill up a little and then do that, right?
Right.
And so I think that social health can go. You got to be careful. Social's good, but you need the me time.
Right.
And you need boundaries on
And some
that.
people need the me time more. I need me time more, a lot.
What's funny is I'm an extrovert. I love people. I love spending time with people. I love our conferences, being around all the people and the energy. But when I'm done, I refuel completely. Like I need to be on the couch, chilling out, vegging. Maybe not. Maybe my husband can be there. I don't have to be 100% alone. Sometimes he does, sometimes he doesn't. If he's chilling out with me, watching a movie, that's fine. But I don't want to talk.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't want to talk. We're just hanging out. It's not like we're talking or trying to pay attention to each other. It's just chilling and vegging on the couch. This one I thought was really good, you guys. Make time for pleasure mastery activities. Now that one's an interesting one too. We overlook those things that we love to do. What do you love to do? Wouldn't that be something that you would think as a pleasure activity?
Yes. But I think that can be taken out of context, though, so that you're doing things that you do love to do, but maybe you're doing it because somebody else loves it, or I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, well, that's true too.
Right.
You got to make sure it's something you love to do.
Yeah.
And it might be you love it because you love spending time with that person. I guess that could be different. But definitely it's something, I think definitely what they're saying, I want to read that again, what he says about what he titles that. Pleasure mastery activities. I've just never heard that term before. Pleasure mastery activities, which is awesome. But it's definitely what you love. It's definitely something that's pleasurable to you. So it's about you,
Right.
And I know we love that saying, it's not all about me. But when it comes to self-care, at the time that you're doing it, it feels like it's all about you. But ultimately, you're doing it so that
So you can give to others.
can give to others. That's right. That's right. And then, okay, so last two, and we're probably running out of time here. So practice being gentle with yourself. That's one that I have to really, I think I'm hard. I can be tough on myself. So I have to really practice that.
Right. I can be extremely hard on myself. I'm not doing it right. I didn't do it long enough. All these crazy things that are not even pieces of self-care. So.
Yeah.
Totally
I have a
destroy
quick
my
story.
self-care.
I have a quick story about that. Speaking of vegging on the couch. So that's something that I have to do every so often. Like I go, and then all of a sudden I have to just veg out. I have to have a day where I just literally do nothing.
Because you aren't self-caring.
Right. Literally do nothing. Like veg on the couch and just watch TV. Don't talk to nobody.
Right.
Don't, I could, one day I watched the movie The Holiday like 3 times. The same movie. Like back to back. Just total vegging. But I would feel so guilty when I would do that. Like I would just get this feeling of, I am so lazy. This is terrible. Joe would be outside mowing the lawn. I could hear the lawnmower through the window. And I would be thinking, I'm a loser. I'm just laying on the couch and he's out there mowing the lawn. And I just would get this such guilt over it that it took away from the fact that it's something that I needed to do.
Right.
And then one day I said to Joe, I'm like, I know you think I'm just a lazy slob, but I'm just so exhausted. I'm just so tired today. And he said, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. You're the least lazy person that I know. He's like, you need to lay on the couch. And all of a sudden it was like, it was just confirmation that it was okay.
Right.
So sometimes what we're feeling in our head, what we think our spouses are thinking about us,
often is not the case.
Often is not the case.
Yes.
If
we
you're
conjure
feeling
up a lot of perceptions or misperceptions and believe those.
Yeah.
And they're generally not even true at all.
Yeah. If you are feeling guilty about laying on the couch one day a week or once every couple of weeks or even just once a month, chances are you're probably the least laziest person out there. If you're laying on the couch every single day and not being productive, you might want to reconsider. But if you know that you're busy and you're just taking a rest, I think it's okay. And then I'll let you speak to this one because I thought this was really cool. Make sure you have enough white space
Right.
in your life.
Right. Which I think goes along with the previous point of just being gentle with yourself. I think giving yourself space, quietness. I enjoy the quiet. Now that I am working remotely, sometimes I don't tell anyone. Oh, we're live.
We're live. You're telling the whole world.
Well, I like to have candles on.
So
It's just, it sets an atmosphere.
you
and
put a
it's just
candle
calming.
burning. Yeah.
Sometimes.
And you can
Yeah.
do that. I
On
don't think that's
occasion.
against your work rule, right? It's okay to burn candles while you're working at your office.
Oh, wait,
it makes
it's
you be
during
more
break.
productive. That's awesome.
But anyway, setting an atmosphere, I think, is very important.
Yeah.
Just decluttering your space, your mind. I think it's extremely important, and I think that's part of self-care.
Yes, I do too. Well, we're going to wrap it up here, but I want to bring the attention back. I hope that you guys can see these beautiful, lovely bottles here. Resonate Skincare, and you can find her Facebook page, Resonate Skincare, and we'll post that link in the comments of this video as well. Make sure you can find it. I can attest that those products are wonderful. I love them. I've been using some of them. They smell amazing. If you like essential oils, you will love them because the essential oils are in them, and so you can smell all. It's so natural and smells so
Beneficial.
good, and it's the night cream is, it's just, I love it. It makes your face so soft. It's just wonderful. So, all right, you guys. Well, thank you so much. And we will look forward to seeing you back on the 3rd Tuesday of every month for My Success. And then let's see, next week is the 4th Tuesday. So that'll be The Source with Kurt P. White. He'll be, and I think Molly Bishop will be his guest next week. So be sure to stay tuned. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.